Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it to. I'm Bushka on Blitz, and I am back with a red-hot opinion. It's an op-ed, it's a bit of a topical piece on the T49A ATM. I've donned my flame retardant suit, and I will be in the bunker after I launch this because, good golly, I expect this thing to go a little bit nasty and viral. This is a tank that is literally two different tanks in the one game, depending on which game client you can play with. And obviously you've got to have a little bit of skill to make anything work, but I'm going to show you some things that will blow your mind if you're an iPad player or an Android player or indeed a touch device player. And if you haven't already figured it out and you're on a PC or a Mac client, then you're probably going to be very happy after watching this video, and you're going to try some very interesting things. This tank, thank God it's not going to be around for a long time. This tank is great on the iPad. It feels really balanced. You can see how hard it is to fire successfully. You are well, not equal. You are most parts miss, some small parts reward. And that's because the shell is incredibly slow. You can see me racing it in an RU-251. It's a very, very slow shell. And the depth perception in game is very, very tough to judge. And plus, tanks move. So you've got to really track it in on your own on the iPad using your thumbs or fingers or your nose or whatever you play the iPad with, and it can be hard to do damage and it can be hard to guide the shells. So I tended to play this tank like an absolute conventional T49, just with a little bit of a squiggly line that let me do some interesting things, and it was fun and it was great. We had 400 people on stream watching it, and that was brilliant. Fast forward to the PC. Aim tank up in the air. Aim gun right up in the air. Auto click, auto aim. Right click, auto aim, reverse, profit. It's an IS-7. I mean, honest to God, you have got to be freaking kidding me. This is artillery. Now, the big difference between PC and Blitz is that we don't get artillery in Blitz, and it's brilliant because people hate artillery often in PC. There's a famous video of Cirque on eating cereal while wrecking a team. Basically sitting there, and it's a top-down view, and he's just pressing the button, and you know, it's brilliant, and people really don't like it. This is nuts. I can't even see JC Ware, who is in the 047, really from where I'm at, but you know, reverse up, fire it in the air, auto lock, don't even have to have it on him. I mean, it's going to automatically go to him. This is broken for the PC client. JC's popped after I fired the gun. Back it up. No problemo. This is broken. It should never have been released like this. And it is the most obvious reason I've ever seen to turn on the only play with same client button that is totally available to those of you on an iPad or a touchscreen, or just stay out of tier 7 altogether, because it is not the same tank depending on the client you drive. You can see here, I'm going to fire at that Tiger, kind of guide it into the lower glacis. There we go, we get a good result. That's all fantastic. Everyone's a winner. Very, very difficult to do. And you say, but Bushka, that's a test room, that's a training server. I mean, this is a really hard shot to hit on the iPad. You've got to have depth perception. They disappear off the map, so you're guiding it in with your own finger, all that kind of thing. And then you get situations like this where, you know, you're playing it like a conventional T49 and you're guiding it in and you're hitting it and you get an ammo rack and it all looks really good. But that's not the rule. That's the exception. You can see after some time, I'm guiding in a pre-aimed shot where I think he's going to go to. And that's great fun. But mostly I play it like this, where I drive around and I'm circle of deathing here and I'm not doing anything special. I'm literally using it like a conventional gun. And that's fine because it's an event tank. It's meant to be a bit of fun and it's meant to be a bit of giggle. There are huge numbers popping all over the servers from people driving these things on PC and Mac. And I woke up this morning, I had the day off yesterday, didn't do any videos, didn't do anything at all, in fact, to do with Blitz whatsoever. Played basketball with my son, kicked the football around, took the dog for a walk, had some lunch with the missus. It was great. And there was a storm of correspondence in the old inbox. A literal tsunami of angry humans. Both on Telegram, in Discord. Watch this. There's Mojo. I can't even drive. Look, I stuff up the auto aim. It doesn't matter. It still is going to do the business for me. I am so bad at driving on Mac. This is a pigeon boy tactic, one of Mojo's mates. And can you believe this? I am driving along. Point cannon in air like artillery piece. Fire weapon. Engage auto aim. You don't even have to look at him. We're not even going to look at him. I'm going to look at my own tank. Hear the whistle of death? Thanks for coming. Insanity. Absolute insanity. Let's try that again. This is with Black Wolf. There we go. I mean, I'm terrible at driving on Mac. I am so bad at driving on Mac. And yet, it's totally doable. Now, this is in a training room. Admittedly in a training room. So, it's not going to be as easy in live service. Well, you'd think that, wouldn't you? Because on live, well, hang on. I can't drive Mac. I drive iPad all the time. I'm terrible on Mac. People have seen this. I really just don't know how to drive it because I haven't put the time in to do it. I did once do it for like 3 or 4 days and I got much better at it and I found, wow, I was doing really well. And people got all upset because basically, I mean, what's it look like from the perspective of the guy driving? There's Pigeon Boy. Here's one coming up my tailpipe. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But what if you could actually do this in game? What if you played all the time? Enter my good mate Mojo, who plays all the time on a Mac or a PC client, and was good enough to record the footage of using this tactic in game. And you're going to see some absolutely ridiculous shots here. This is why this isn't a review, because the tank's not around for long enough, and there are 2 different tanks in the game, and the iPad client, look, he is pointing away from the enemy spawn here. He is fully hidden. He is on he's fired, then come out, then hooked it on. Thank you. What do you think of them apples? Feel that that's a fair and accurate representation of how it would be going on an iPad? Completely unspotted. Fires a target, locks it in. Thank you. Like, this is nuts. This is absolutely broken. I am so keen for this not to be in the game anymore, or at least not to be playable on a PC or a Mac client. Now, a lot of people are not playing it like this, but the big numbers you're seeing, like the 6,000 damage games and that you are seeing, it's not to say you can't have those kind of numbers on a PC or a MacBook, or a PC, sorry, I got confused, on an iPad or an Android device. It's not to say you can't do that, but it's harder, it's tougher, and it's just easier to aim when you have a good PC player. It's easier to guide this stuff in. It's like playing Quake or Half-Life or something back in the day where you had rocket launchers and that's how you hit targets and you got good at just grinding them in from all over the screen while moving. That's still the case here. You're going to see an absolutely insane example of it right here. And after this one, I'll rest my case. And if you think this is still balanced on a PC or a Mac client, I'll eat my hat. Like, this is insanity. Mojo's moving. He has fired. That is a moving target over there. He's not even looking at the bloke. He's just driving around. Get the hell out of town. Just stop it. Absolutely stop it. I'm now going to show you a game I had on the stream with the iPad and just playing it conventionally and why it's fine on an iPad. So if you're playing a touch device, yeah, like, as much as it pains me to say it, you need to disable the shared queue. You need to be playing with just, your own touch people. You can see I'm guiding this in with my fingers. I'm physically guiding the missile in. I am not artillery. I am absolutely guiding it in. Now, you can try and do the artillery stuff that you can do with the PC, but it is so much more difficult because you can't aim away and still have the reticle over a tank. Like, I can, on a laptop, you can look way up in the sky and have the reticle exactly where you want it to go. You fire up in the sky, and you don't have to move the reticle, as in move the missile's track to the target at all. You basically just right-click with auto-aim, and it will work. Whereas I get an ammo rack there, but I am physically visible to targets while I'm guiding that in. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be playing this on stream tomorrow, guys. So come along and watch it on stream. And I had 400 people watching it last time I played this and the MBT-70, and it was great fun. We had a good time. If you want to see it played on the iPad, it's great giggle. And it is such a hit and miss tank. This is a really good game in it, actually. Quite opposed to the normal games I was getting in it. And you can still have crazy games, but it is not the point and click thing that is going on PC. And PC you miss too. Like, don't get me wrong, it is not a 100% accurate thing, but the mechanic is just simply not there to take advantage of on the iPad or the Android device. So, yeah, it's a little bit of an unfair advantage for guys. Well, a little bit. It's a massively unfair advantage. Let's see some more footage of Mojo just doing stupid stuff. Enjoy this. I'm going to tell you what's coming up on channel, and you guys can let the world do whatever it does, but tomorrow I'm going to be streaming the T49A TM. Last time we had huge numbers on the stream. I'd hope that we can get some similar kind of numbers. And I'll be doing it on the iPad, so there won't be any of this going on. Wow. Just wow. I mean, Mojo's having a great time. Don't get me wrong. Mojo's having a ball. Point completely away from invisible target. Oh, there it goes. It's popped. Now start aiming. Actually, don't aim at all. Just drive around looking at other parts of the map. The artillery will take care of everything. I'm also doing an IS-3 review this week. It's well overdue an update. It's been power creeped a bit, and things have changed within the games, and all kinds of stuff has happened. But it's still worth having a look at. And lots and lots of people have asked about that tank, because it's obviously one of the tanks that gets used the most en route to, say, the IS-7, which is a very, very famed Russian heavy tank, and so everyone's got to go through that. So there's a new IS-3 review coming up. There's also a full ratings breakdown happening this week. I've got to make it happen. I've got to make it happen. I've got to make it happen. Basically, I got to the Diamond League on Bushka. My Bushka account got to just over 5,000 on that, and parked it, which is something I want to be talking about in the ratings video. And I played about 9 or 10 different tier 10s on that account. I think it was at 8 or 9 actually. And then I played pretty much every tier 10 tank on the contributor account, and I feel like I've got a really, really good idea of where rating sits at the moment, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I'm going to get some other people in to share their views on ratings, some of the things that are a little bit more controversial on it, like the map selection, the kind of tanks that were available, the idea of platoons, the crossed queues, whether or not it should have affected your win rates, whether or not it should have affected your stats, why draws were less heavily penalised than, say, a loss. So many things, and I want to do it as an open forum. So what I'm going to do is something completely different. I'm going to have a lot of video going in the background, and then I'm going to have audio from an open forum chat going on the top. So then I'll have that on YouTube, and it's going to be quite long, but it should be worth a look, and it should be good, and I'll release it as a podcast as well. So it won't be relying on the video, but the video is going to be of ratings, fights, and things, and I'll try and tie it in a little bit, but we'll see how that goes. And I drove the YAG a lot on the contributor account, by the way, and did very well with it. And I found that some of the tanks that I thought were going to be really, really good at the start were really, really good. And some of the tanks that I thought were going to be really, really bad were actually pretty bloody good as well. And for the most part, everything had its place within ratings, but some tanks really shone and others really, really bloody well didn't. But that's just my opinion. And I want to make sure that we get more than just one opinion on it. I want to have a lot of different people talking about it, so we can get maybe a cross-section of the community, and we'll get people who did well, people who didn't like it, people who were middle of the road, people who played it on PC, people who played it ratings battles in World of Warships, all kinds of different humans. So until next time, look forward to that. Look after your families, subscribe, like the videos, share them, and stay safe on the battlefield.